Peace was good. I was just listening to all these comments and everything about the comment that was made about FBA, and I started doing some thinking, really some deep thinking about it. Really, I think the problem is education. I think people jump to things without even researching it and find out. I believe that if he researched FBA, he would have found out that it doesn't mean radicalism, or it doesn't mean prejudice or racist or anything. It means foundational Black Americans. So, in other words, what that's saying is that Americans that were born here, Americans that are from here, everyone else has a lineage and a name for their lineage, just like Puerto Ricans. Puerto Ricans are from Puerto Rico. Jamaicans are from Jamaica. You understand? And so we here, that was born here, we can't just be called Americans. We can't. They have to attach blackness American, to it. So I think a lot of it has to do with education, educating yourself to do a lot of research and find out what it is. That's number one. Number two thing is that people discuss hip hop as if they were there in the beginning, in the creation of it. So they can say that, okay, I saw this person and this person and this person create it. I saw them create this. I saw them, creating this. I'm not saying that I saw somebody doing this that was already created. A person that was there for the creation is a person that can say, okay, this is what it took to create it. This is what the ingredients were to create it. So a lot of times people join in on something that's already created and then want to take that credit for saying that they created it or they were 50-50, when that's just not so. So, Lord Jamar did come up with something, and I'm glad he put me a part of it, to have a debate, a cipher. And this way, we could come together and base your evidence of the creation. And nobody stepped to that challenge. Nobody confirmed that they were going to step to the challenge, and they didn't do it. So therefore, at that point, and don't get me wrong, I know each person that Lord Jamar called out was notified or known that this challenge was out there. So it wasn't like they said, oh, I never saw no challenge. I know. No. Everybody saw that challenge. Everybody. And if they didn't see it themselves, someone else would say, oh man, did you know Lord Jamar had a challenge, and he mentioned your name? So they can't say that it wasn't known and they didn't have that, they didn't know about the challenge. So if they were going to say something, why couldn't they step to the challenge? Because this was the prime time to bring your evidence. Because you know why they didn't come? Because there's no evidence of any other person other than us for the creation of hip hop. The creation. There's no other evidence. There's no other. They can't tell you what steps were made to do this, what steps was made to break dance, what steps were made to DJ, what steps were made to MC. They can't tell you those steps. All they can tell you is what they heard. One of the things that I just heard somebody say, well, my brother did this, or my uncle did this, or the people that are legends or whatever told me this, or they told me that. No. The creators don't have to say that. The creators can say, listen, I saw how this amplifier was hooked up. I saw how these turntables was hooked up. I saw how this mic was hooked up. I saw how they went to the floor. I saw what the moves that they made, what that we made when we were, creating this whole thing called hip hop. Another thing is the mention of hip hop. I just saw another video where they're saying in 1976 or 77, 78, the mention of hip hop wasn't there. It was disco. Because you just have to understand. Listen, just please listen. From 75, 76, 77, those were the disco years. Those were the areas where the disco was introduced. So if you want to get a crowd, or you want somebody to take notice, you put on the flyer something that's happening at the time. But look at the flyers before that, okay? And if you look at the flyers before that, the name hip hop might not have been there because it wasn't a thing like that to have flyers. In 71, there was no such thing as a flyer. 72, there was no such thing as a flyer. Even for this I don't even know what to call it, flyer for Herc in 73 was it's supposed to be an index card, so it wasn't a flyer. So you won't see the name hip hop on the early days of flyers, and that's what they say. I'm bringing evidence. No, man, listen, you gotta be logical. You gotta think logical, okay? So yes, the term hip hop, yes, was there in 71. Well, I correct myself. I'll say 72. That's when the term hip hop was coined. And like I said, I'm gonna do another video on the culture since 71. And I'm gonna because I can't sit for it. I took a hiatus, and I let my bigger brother, Young Black, take a couple of the videos or whatever, while I did a lot of research and everything. But I'm getting ready to come back out now, so just watch out for the culture since 71's videos, because we got to put a stop to this. We got to put a stop to this. This is getting out of hand. It's really reckless now. It makes no sense. People have this false claim of something, to add people on to what, I guarantee you challenge those people that say all of this, and you challenge them and you say, when was the first time you saw hip hop? And I guarantee you it'll be in those later years. It won't be 71. It won't be 72. It won't be 73, 74, 75, 76. It's the later years. So if that's when they were introduced to hip hop, how could they know what happened in 71? How could they know what happened in 72? And they can't. So that's a big point that needs to be followed up on. I was very, very disappointed. I was very disappointed when the comments were made and said that Lord Jamar was the worst out of all brand new. That was really out of character. That was really like, hip hop is, that's not what hip hop is about. And if you really knew what hip hop was about, then that wouldn't even have came to play. If you knew where the creation was, you would already know Puerto Ricans had nothing to do with the creation of hip hop, neither did Jamaicans or anybody else. They didn't have anything to do with the creation of hip hop. And I think that's where the big problem is, adding on. And you can't say we're racist because we're claiming something. That's the problem. That's the biggest problem. Our people are so loving and so generous that we just said, come on, kumbaya, come on, join in, join in, join in. And the arrogance of some people say, okay, I'm joining in, but now it's mine. I'm taking it. It's mine. And that's just not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. So now he risks to lose all the people that he wanted to care for him, or he wanted to have a fan base. He lost them. Because if you're trying so hard to be us, he said the N-word. He said to mess with the wrong N-word, right? Now, where does that N-word come from? You were never your people were not a slave or anything that he didn't have to go through, because the bottom line is you could pass for pink. You could pass for pink. Point blank, period. You see what I'm saying? So you never had to go through the trials and tribulations that we as dark-skinned people had to go through. Okay, so it's just it's a real mess, but we're going to straighten it out. We're going to straighten it out, okay? So make sure you tune in and look for the Culture Since 71's new videos, because we're getting ready to put some fire to somebody, all right? Peace.